Back it up, all right? You're not in charge here.
Right.
Let my guys handle this.
Officer, I need space to work. He's hypotensive, and I'm managing his airway.
I said step back. Don't be giving orders to my officers.
I'm not giving orders to your officers. I'm giving medical instructions so we can keep him alive.
Yeah, well, you don't outrank me on patient care. I do.
At 1:43 a.m., under white floodlights and spinning red-blue strobes, a black man in a reflective EMT command vest is told to step back from the wreckage. Not because he's in danger, not because he's unqualified, but because an officer doesn't believe he's supposed to be there. His name is Andre Collins, Senior Emergency Medical Technician, Shift Supervisor, the highest-ranking medical authority at a live accident scene. And in less than 5 minutes, Andre will be accused of interfering, threatened with detention, and physically removed from a medical emergency he is legally responsible for running, all while patients are still trapped inside twisted metal. Before we continue, what city are you watching from? If this is your first time listening, support the channel by liking and subscribing. Stories like this need to be told, and with your help, we can make sure these events don't go unheard. This story isn't about confusion, it's about certainty, the kind that comes from power that never expects to be questioned. Andre Collins didn't inherit authority. He earned it in fragments of other people's worst days. 14 years in emergency medicine, over 7,500 calls, cardiac arrests on kitchen floors, pile-ups at dawn, overdoses in bathroom stalls, trauma scenes where seconds decided outcomes. He rose quietly. No politics, no shortcuts, no ego. He trained rookies who couldn't stop shaking. He stabilized scenes others couldn't control. He learned when to take command and when to disappear. On paper, Andre was a supervisor. In reality, he was the one dispatch trusted when calls sounded bad. Because when scenes collapsed into noise, Andre created order. That night, he was the on-duty EMS scene commander, which meant the medical response flowed through him, whether anyone liked it or not. The crash happened on a rain-darkened boulevard near an industrial stretch of the city. 3 vehicles, 1 delivery truck, metal folded inward like paper, 1 driver pinned, 1 unconscious, 1 screaming for someone who wasn't answering. Police arrived first, they always do, traffic control, perimeter, authority. Then fire engines thundered in, then EMS units stacked up along the curb. Protocol is clear. Once medical arrives, EMS controls patient care, not police, not fire. Andre arrived in a marked county response SUV, wearing a command vest, radio live, helmet clipped. He stepped into the scene and began triage immediately. And that's when the look started. The pause, the hesitation, the unspoken question hanging in the rain-soaked air. Who is he? Officer Ryan Keller spots Andre near the wreckage. He doesn't introduce himself. He doesn't ask. He commands, "Hey, you need to move back." Andre turns, steady. "I'm the EMS supervisor. We need room to extricate." Keller frowns. "Who do you work for?" Andre gestures to his vest. "County EMS. I'm running this scene medically." Keller looks past the uniform, past the radio, past the credentials, and stares at Andre. "I've never seen you before." There it is. Not concern, not caution, suspicion, the kind that hardens instantly. Andre stays professional. He hands over his ID, shows his supervisor badge, explains protocol. Keller barely looks. "You're not listed on my call sheet." Andre blinks. "That's not how EMS works." Keller steps closer. "You're interfering." The word drops heavy, interfering. Around them, firefighters pause mid-task. Another EMT hesitates, glancing between them. A trapped driver moans from inside the vehicle. Andre keeps his voice even. "You're delaying patient care." Keller's jaw tightens. "I'm in charge here." That sentence changes everything, because it's wrong, and everyone knows it. Andre tries one more time. "Officer, fire and EMS have command authority on medical operations. We need access now." Keller radios in. "I've got a male refusing to comply at the scene." Refusing. The escalation is instant. Backup units turn their heads, hands shift closer to belts. Andre exhales slowly. "You're calling this in?" Keller doesn't respond. Instead, he reaches out, grabs Andre's arm, not violently, but intentionally. "Turn around." Rain drips from Andre's helmet. Lights reflect off wet asphalt. Patients are still inside the wreckage, and authority has stopped listening. A fire lieutenant steps forward. "Officer, worry, he's our EMS supervisor." Keller waves him off. Another EMT raises their voice. He's in charge medically. Keller ignores them. Then Andre does something simple. He keys his radio. "Dispatch, confirm EMS scene command assigned to Supervisor Andre Collins." Silence, then dispatch answers. "Confirmed, Supervisor Collins has medical command." The words echo, and suddenly the scene changes. Dispatch's confirmation hangs in the air longer than it should. "Confirmed, Supervisor Collins has medical command." No sirens, no shouting, just the quiet crackle of a radio telling the truth too late. Officer Keller doesn't respond right away. His hand is still on Andre Collins' arm, still gripping, still asserting something that no longer exists, because in that single sentence, the hierarchy snaps back into place. Andre doesn't pull away. He doesn't raise his voice. He lets the silence do the work. A nearby officer shifts uncomfortably. A firefighter exhales. One EMT lowers their head, relieved. Keller finally releases his grip, too casually, like nothing happened. But the body cam caught everything. The order to move back, the accusation of interference, the grab, the refusal to listen when credentials were shown, and most importantly, the delay. Minutes lost, patients waiting. The camera never blinked. Keller clears his throat. "All right, just trying to keep the scene safe." Andre meets his eyes, then stop delaying care. It's not shouted, it's not aggressive, it's surgical. Keller nods once, doesn't apologize, doesn't acknowledge the mistake. Instead, he steps back, physically and symbolically, and waves Andre through. The firefighters immediately move, tools scream to life. Hydraulics bite into metal. The trapped driver cries out. Care resumes, but something else has changed. Everyone saw it. The attempt to dominate, the refusal to verify, the moment bias overrode protocol. And everyone knows this scene isn't over. It's just left the street. By 3:06 a.m., the last patient is transported. Blood washed from the asphalt, debris pushed aside, traffic slowly reopened. But Andre doesn't feel relief. He feels the familiar heaviness, the one that comes after doing your job and surviving something unnecessary. A fellow EMT walks over. "You good?" Andre nods. He's learned when to compartmentalize. But as he walks back to his vehicle, he notices it. 3 officers standing together, whispering, glancing his way, the body cam light still blinking red, recording, waiting. 2 weeks later, the video drops. No announcement, no warning, just a leak. First, on a local watchdog page, then clipped, then reposted, then everywhere. The headline spreads fast. Black EMT detained while running accident scene. View counts climb. Comments flood in. Why didn't he just comply? He literally showed his badge. This could have killed someone. How many times has this happened without cameras? The body cam doesn't editorialize, it just shows. And what it shows is impossible to spin. Within 48 hours, the police department issues a statement, carefully worded. An internal review has been initiated. No evidence of racial bias at this time. Officer acted in the interest of scene safety. No mention of the delay, no mention of the grab, no apology to Andre. EMS leadership responds differently. They confirm Andre's role, reiterate protocol, and quietly place legal counsel on standby. Because this isn't just embarrassing, it's expensive. Andre files a formal complaint, then a civil claim, violation of civil rights, interference with emergency medical care, unlawful detention. The city settles, quietly, mid-6 figures, no admission of wrongdoing. Officer Keller is placed on administrative leave, then returns, reassigned, no demotion, no public discipline. The system absorbs the shock and keeps moving. Andre keeps working, because that's what he's trained to do, but something is different. He hesitates now, just a fraction, when police approach scenes. He documents everything, records times, repeats commands louder than necessary, not for patience, for protection, because he knows now authority can be stripped in seconds if someone decides you don't fit their image of it. And cameras aren't always on. Ask yourself something uncomfortable. What if Andre hadn't keyed his radio? What if dispatch hadn't answered? What if the fire lieutenant stayed silent? How many minutes would have been lost? How many patients would have paid for ego? This wasn't chaos. It was hierarchy enforced incorrectly. It was authority threatened by competence. It was a system that defaulted to disbelief and had to be corrected publicly. Why is professionalism still questioned when it comes in black skin? Why does proof only matter after humiliation? And how many similar moments never make it online? That night, Andre Collins did his job. Patients lived, protocols held, truth surfaced, but the question remains. How many scenes end differently when no one challenges the wrong authority? How many lives depend on someone being believed the first time? And how many professionals are still being ordered to step back from jobs they were trained to lead? If this story made you pause, made you uncomfortable, made you think, that's the point. Drop a comment, share where you're watching from, and if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Because stories like this don't just document the past, they warn the future.